Some may say angels walk among us, but few realize rock stars do also. I found Jonni Lightfoot languishing at Mars Music.
Jonni Lightfoot.
Hello, Nick.
So this bass is something that you've helped develop with the Zon company.
Yes. I called Joe Zon. I sent him some material,
And you say, what do? You call him and say, hey, I'm cool.
No, not quite. It was a little more difficult than that. I told him what I had in mind, and this is the little baby that came out of it.
Now you do make it sing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Modern day bass playing is pretty much just... It's great, you can do it, it's kind of boring, but you know, I like to take a real melodic approach with the instrument, really, exactly as you put it, make it sing.
Jonni Lightfoot is a musician who has taken the electric bass guitar, an instrument traditionally residing in the realms of pounding rhythm and the bottom octave, to the forefront of consciousness in his projects. Very personal stringing, tuning, and tasteful electronic effects create sweeping and melodic textures that don't sound bass at all. Sometimes it's difficult to imagine just one man producing all that sound. Indeed, Jonni has accomplished perhaps the most elusive goal of mystery in a modern age, where there seems to be nothing new under the sun.
All right, so you're changing strings.
Yes. Putting on a special gauge string that I kind of use. It's a piccolo set. It allows me to get really high tunings on it, along with really interesting and unique open tunings. It's actually 30 to 18 that'll go on the instrument.
With a name like Zon, I'm assuming that really he had no other choice than to be ragingly unusual.
It's true. It's true. There's Joe Zon is quite the unique fellow. There's a big article on him in Bass Player magazine this month about how unique he has been with all of his instruments. And
so, did you choose him for that reason?
Yes, I did. I got a hold of Zon for the fact that they build unique and interesting instruments, and that they're so flexible and pretty much designed for the solo bass player, along with anything else too.
Sure. The solo bass player, now that's a concept. A lot of people, the bass player is the guy who's a failed guitarist.
Sometimes.
What would you say about that?
I would say that, yes, I play guitar also, but that's not because I'm a failed guitarist that I chose this instrument. I'm a bass player by heart, and I'm kind of tired of being the guy that's always left back in the background. I like to be up front, and usually when I play in bands, I have a big conflict with other players because I like to be up front more than anything else.
Yeah, yes.
And so they have a problem with that, and so I decided on this unique little animal,
and of course, to make your own band.
Exactly.
That sort of helped a bit, didn't it?
Exactly. It really helped to have your own personal band out there, or just be your personal self, solo guy.
Your personal slave. Be your own personal slave.
Yes, that's what I try to be. I use a lot of open tunings, like a lot of acoustic guitar players usually do, and kind of go from there with it.
And it seems to me that nothing from here to here is necessarily sacred. I mean, you're using techniques beyond both ends of the bridge and the headstock.
Yeah. This bass was designed by Joe Zon. Joe Zon and myself kind of put this together with the idea of it. Some of the more unique things that we've done, that's kind of almost become a Zon tradition now, but underneath each string saddle here, there happens to actually be pickups. Mm-hmm. These are saddles which are controlled by its own output right here. So we can go from there out to another amp, and it's got its own control features here, along with the fact that the bass has a all graphite neck, which you really can't see with the paint job on it, but it allows me to give the bass into open tunings. One of the more unique features on this is it has hip shops built onto the bass, one for each string. You can hit
like the pedals on a harp.
Very much like that. Very much like
changing
that.
certain parts of the instrument.
It allows you to get different tunings, all in the middle of a song, or change tunings in the middle of a song if you like.
But you were using it actually as an effect as well.
I use it as an effect. I use it for pitch bends or something like that, where if we had another hand or something like that, or used our feet, it might be a little easier. And one of the coolest things about Joe Zahn is he's not only the president of Zahn Guitars, but he's also out there and he builds these instruments himself. He does not just sit in a desk and say, you do this and you do that. He's out there handcrafting these instruments like these two himself. He put time into building these two basses, the president of the company.
Really?
This is my fretless Wonder. It rarely gets out of the house. It pretty much stays solely on...
So it's a kept bass?
It's a kept bass. It mainly goes strictly to recording sessions, and that's about it. It rarely sees a club scene. I called Joe up and I said, hey, I really would like to get a fretless bass. I know I want some piezo's and hip shots on it like my piccolo bass, but I don't know what top. And he says, well, you have to use koa. Koa is my favorite wood because of the way it sounds and the way it looks, and this is it. So I didn't even know what this thing was going to look like until he sent it to me. This one here is the Sonus bass. This is in their line. They have two lines. They have Legacy Elites and the Sonuses. The differences between the two is the Sonus is a bolt-on neck, still all graphite, but it bolts on a little different body design as opposed to the Legacy Elite, which are a dovetailed neck joint. You can see it right there. So it doves in, so it gives the appearance of the neck through, but it's actually a dovetail. Little different body style. I prefer the Legacy Elites more than anything, just the comfortability of the putting them on and playing them. They have a great tone to them, a little more punchy Elites. These are more similar to like a jazz bass sound or something like that.
Yeah, noticing for the uninitiated, you got more strings than 4.
Yes. Typically a 5-string player, more than anything. Just I figured it out one day by playing with a piano player. They do that double octave thing. They love to go down. And,
sure.
I was playing a 4-string and just couldn't cop it with them, and so next thing I know, I purchased a 5 and I was there, and I can't get away from them.
Yeah, definitely. And move a little bit more air. A bigger bottom.
Much bigger bottom.
Now, one of the considerations, I guess, with bass playing is that you need a lot of power.
Yes.
Power is everything. Do these go to 11?
They actually do not. They go to 10. I've been begging SWR to go to 11. In fact, they just, funny you should mention that, they just signed on Derek Smalls from Spinal Tap.
Oh, really?
So I'm sure they're going to make an amp that goes to 11 now.
Yes.
Let's take, for example, the SM900. It's 2 parametric EQs. Switchable, you can either select 1, 2, or both at the same time. So for a bass player like myself who looks for a more versatile sound, not the typical plug-and-play guy, this is the only amp. You can run it through any of the cabinets. The preferred cabinet would naturally be the 410s.
Oh, naturally. Yeah.
2 of them to be exact.
Wow.
But,
So 810s then?
810s.
Okay.
Gives a little more punch. 80 cubic inches of air moving as opposed to like a 15 or something like that.
That sounds something like a Harley Davidson then.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. This is what this
80
gear
cubic
is.
inches. All right then.
This pretty much is the Harley Davidson of bass amps. God amp. It just rocks. Bass playing has changed drastically. I like to refer to it as guitar players. Guitar players have gone back to everything being vintage. Bass players say vintage, nah, we're going modern because we need that sound. It's changed in the fact where the bass players that used to be this typical blah 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 players have now turned into lead players. They're playing melodies. They're doubling guitar lines. It's really opened up and it's growing bigger and bigger each day. So bass it's a wonderful time to be a bass player right now.